Hello, good evening, and welcome to Monkeys with Fire. How is everybody tonight? I hope you're all well. Hope you had a good day. Let's just say hello to the chat. Good evening, Mystical Unicorn Painting. How are you tonight? Hope you're good. Good evening, Lornor. Welcome. Thank you for joining me tonight. So, what are we going to be doing? We are going to continue on from our stream on Monday evening, and we're going to take a look at Heart of Darkness, a cinematic scenario for Alien the Roleplaying Game. Good evening, Necromantic. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. So yes, we started taking a look at the core rules on Monday, and of course you can check out that video on the YouTube channel. So this is now taking a look at a cinematic scenario. Now, obviously, big spoiler alert warning here. It's unavoidable to actually take a look at this. It does mean that you're going to have aspects of the scenario obviously made apparent. So if you are intending to play this particular scenario, you might want to not watch this video at this time. You might want to go away and enjoy it with your friends and then come back and watch this video at a later date. The purpose of tonight is for those who are maybe new to role-playing and new certainly to the Alien role-playing game and want to sort of have an idea of what one of the published cinematic scenarios actually look like, what you get in the pack, how the scenario guides you through, and of course primarily you're going to be taking on the role of the game mother if you're going to be purchasing one of these packs. From my point of view, I want to learn how these scenarios are laid out, how I would deliver the scenario to my players, because it's all new to me. As I discussed on the Monday night stream, I am no expert in role-playing games. I played games back when I was in college, which is obviously many, many years ago, but it's something that I want to try and get back into, and I'm hoping that tonight's show and subsequent shows, as a community, we can take a look and learn together a little bit. So I know that we do have some experienced games masters in the chat tonight. Please do ask questions and give suggestions, because of course you'll be helping me on my role-playing journey and I can learn something from you guys. So, as I say, we are going to take a look at Alien the Role-Playing Game, Heart of Darkness by Andrew E.C. Gasker. And I believe that this is the third part of an ongoing, trilogy, conveniently enough. A trilogy of scenarios. Obviously, they can be played standalone, but if you were playing the set, then this would be the final part. Good evening, Augie. You've got a vaccine headache. Ooh, that's not good. And in fact, this particular scenario, you'd be perfect for this scenario because it does talk about serious headaches. Serious headaches. And good evening, Mikey. Thank you for joining us. The kidney of darkness and the and the left knee of darkness come before this one. That is so true, so true. All right, let's take a look and see what we have. So here we go. Here is the box set, and what's nice is it does come in a really, really nice box, which I do appreciate. Let's just spin it on over. So there is a little bit of a introduction just to tease. Obviously, as it states, you do need the Alien RPG core rulebook or the starter set to play this, so it is not a game in its own right. You do need the core rules. Okay, Lorna, it's very stylish. It is indeed, yes. Production value is very high, which I've enjoyed looking through before we started tonight's stream. Good evening, Baron. Welcome for joining us. 14 months on the resub. Thank you so much. Mikey saying, Wayland Yutani Games, supplier of deadly war games. Yeah, yes. Well, so here we go. Let's just read this little bit of text here. Heart of Darkness is a complete cinematic scenario for the Alien role-playing game, written by sci-fi novelist Andrew E.C. Gasker. It is a standalone adventure, but also serves as a conclusion to the Draconis Strain Saga, begun in the cinematic scenario Chariot of the Gods, and continued in Destroyer of the Worlds. So, Lorna, you did not get your title names correct. The scenario is designed for 3 to 5 players, plus the game mother, and is a spiraling descent into soul-crushing madness. Doesn't sound good already. Let's just take a quick look at then what is the story intro. The company found a new life form and they want you to study it. Their offers uncharacteristically generous. You catalogue this organism, determine how they can use it, and bring it back so they can slap their patent on it. Fairly routine stuff. In exchange, they'll hook you up with a cushy corporate department head position, secure you a book deal, and make sure the institute of your choice gives you tenure. Did I mention the money? There's a lot of it. Simple survey, sample, and analysis job. Seemed too good to be true. Of course it is. So, there we go. Amberden, yes, it is Andrew E.C. Gasker. Yeah, go, somebody go and take a look. Let's find out what works he has done. So let's open up. I always like having little game catalogs here so we can see what other games. These are obviously all by Free League Publishing. So we did take a look at the Alien role-playing game on our last stream. And of course we're seeing some of the elements here within, I believe it's the starter set. We've got the game, or the game mother screen. We've got the scenario, Chariot of the Gods. We have the custom dice. We also have some of those cards that it was referring to. But they do other games. They do The One Ring. Enter the world of Middle-earth with The One Ring, the official tabletop role-playing game based on the works of J.R.R. Tolkien. Designed specifically to invoke the atmosphere of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. It's a shame that somebody in Amazon didn't read this. We have Tales from the Loop. Are you guys familiar with Tales from the Loop? Let me know, of course, if you have played any of these. Forbidden Lands. Twilight 2000. I'm going to hopefully say this correct. Is that Simbarum? Simbarum? This looks interesting. It's interesting. This is a game I know nothing about whatsoever. I probably need to find out more. Vesson, Nordic horror role-playing. Necromantic, you said you played an earlier edition of Twilight 2000. Okay. Is that Morkborg? I'm assuming it's got nothing to do with Star Trek. That looks interesting. Mutant Year Zero. And then Coriolis, the third horizon. Again, another winner of the Ennies. And then we have the Tales from the Loop, the board game. So there's a few games there, and I dare say we will feature some of these titles on the channel in due course. Okay, so we do have a set of cards, and we might refer to these in a bit. Hello, Lostor! Oh, see, can I get it out? Oh, Lostor is on the case. I'm going to just bring all this out because there's a lot of stuff. So we do have the main book. What else do we have? We have some character sheets. So these are the pre-generated characters for this particular scenario. So I'm just going to do a quick look here. We have a synthetic psychologist. We have a Weyland-Yutani company agent. Let me know if any of these characters, which one would you play? We have an engineer, biochemical engineer. We have a Weyland-Yutani close protection operative. And astrophysicist, computer scientist. I'm going to get this wrong. Giholgod? A Giholgod Institute biotechnologist. Wow, that's a lot of ists going on there. We have the captain of the trawler. So, a pilot. Yeah, it's definitely ruined. So those are the characters. We have a ship captain, a xenobiotechologist, an astrophysicist and computer scientist, a close protection operative, a bit of muscle, a biochemical engineer, a company agent, because there's always a company man, and a synthetic psychologist. Alright, so those are the characters. Any that just from the descriptions, quickly? Now I've got to be careful here because I don't want to show too much, per se. But we can just see we've got different nice handouts to provide. And then we do have a handout of the USCSS Setorina. Setorina. We're going to go with that. Okay, so we've got an idea of the layout. We'll learn more about our ship. Floor plans for an FTL lifeboat. Alright. I like how everything is done in the sort of 1978-79 PC computer screen. It's got all the green lines in. Now this is far too big for me to unfold. It's a huge map. So so I will not do it here. I believe I do have an image that I am able to share with you, but it gives you an idea. There is our ship in scale to the size of the station that we are going to be docking with. All right, so those are all of the supplements. Let us then jump into the actual book. I will just remind everybody again that this is all spoiler territory, so if you do not want the story ruined, if you intend to play this game, then really you want to stop watching now, leave it to the game mother to watch the video, and you will then be able to enjoy the game free of spoilers. Amberton, nice to see lots of player info, handouts and maps. Yes, and it's all really, really nice. But, you know, great graphic design, very thematic for the Aliens movies, which is really nice. All right, let's go to the actual book. Okay, I think we're good. All right. Oh. All right. So, again, to reiterate, because I am going to say this so many times, as it states pretty much at the start, for mother's eyes only. This entire booklet is solely for the game mother, to be read before the game begins. Players should not read the scenario text beforehand to avoid spoiling the horror of what's in store for them. Alright, so you have been warned. So, all of that being said, shall we take a bit of a look? So, it's given us a little bit of an introduction, a bit more detail than what we had on the back of the box, and it then goes over to talk about the characters. We've looked at the 7 pre-generated characters, to which, of course, our players will choose from. It will instruct us to fill out our character sheets and let the players choose who they want to be. Any leftover player characters become NPCs under the game mother's control. And so we would take a look at the floor plan for the Setorina handout. They're traveling on this FTL plasma tanker when the scenario begins. Show them the image of the Ablaston black hole and lay out the large map of the Erebos station. Then give each player their personal agendas for Act 1. So, personal agendas. Each character has a personal agenda for each of the 3 acts in the scenario. More so than in previous Alien RPG cinematic scenario adventures, conflicting agendas play a major role in Heart of Darkness. These agendas are printed on playing cards included in the box set. At the start of each act, give each player their new agenda for the act about to start, and tell them not to reveal it to other players. Now this is the bit I think is really interesting in this game. I think this is where we can have a lot of fun. Evaluating the agendas. At the end of each act, collect the agendas from the players and evaluate them individually. If you feel a player has actively advanced their player character's agenda despite significant personal risk or sacrifice, announce this and award them 1 story point. Don't reveal the actual agendas to the entire group. They should remain hidden until the end of the scenario. It's not... Well, yes, I guess, Lostor, you're right. Yes, hidden personalities. It's each player will have their own agenda, their things that they are striving to do. They don't share this with the other players in the game, and hopefully as you're playing the game, maybe you can try and determine what your fellow players are trying to achieve. Of course, you're trying to achieve something as well. And they may, and I'm sure they will, conflict. You know, and I think that's where we'll get a lot of drama and a lot of fun. Well, we would imagine that our mission is cooperative to start off with, for sure. We've all been sent to this station to do a research job. Though, of course, we may have different personal agendas, so we will find out. Good evening, Broga. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. We've just started to take a look at Heart of Darkness for the Alien Role-Playing Game. As I have pointed out, and I will do for everybody who joins in tonight, this is a spoiler-filled show. If you do not want the adventure ruined, stop watching now. Go and play the game with your group of friends, and then come back and have a watch. So, okay, so we understand about personal agendas, so I think that's going to be really interesting and a lot of fun in this game. Is it worth? Now, let me just have a look. I'm just going to... Right, I am not going to share any of these agendas. They are too good. Oh. Yeah. They are too interesting to basically share. I think it would... as much as we're going through this, I think there's a... Yeah, that's a bit too much. Oh gosh, it's interesting from my point of view of trying to show you this and not show you too much. Okay, so here we go. So we got the maps. Giant fold-out map with the floor plans of the Erebos station. So we would put that onto the table. Smaller map also depicts the Cetorina, which is our FTL plasma trawler. So we get to see that. And then the PCs are scientists that hail from the Gerholgod Institute, a prestigious international research institution that focuses on higher scientific principles. You see, we're people of learning, a gathering of leading minds from all supernations. Gerholgod has a keen interest in both exolife and humanity's possible extraterrestrial origins. All right, so you know we're scientists. Yeah, we're clever people. We should be this should be fine. This should be easy for us. Lost Door Company Guy agenda should be, as always, bring the alien life to the lab at all costs. We've all got ologies. Yes, we most definitely have. We've probably got plenty of them. So, scenario overview. So we arrive in orbit around the Ablaston black hole, ready to catalogue a new life form of protoplasmic organism found living in the accretion disk of the singularity. They are here to be scientists and do science work on Erebos plasma trawling rig and platform. They quickly find out that they are in for far more than they bargained for. Damaged by an apparent meteorite strike, Erebos station is running silent. The Cetorina is nearly swept up into the black hole, but crashes into the station instead. Alright, so that is where we start off with. So it goes over, now it talks about the 26 Draconis system, and this of course relates to the previous two cinematic scenarios. We have some details on the actual system. We got a note from Muther, M-U-T-H-U-R, which is the computer system. So that's cool. Oh. So we then get some background information on the actual station. We get some information for the people who are living life on the rim of the abyss, because my goodness, you are basically at the edge of a black hole. This is not the best place to be. Life on the edge of a black hole is neither physically or psychologically safe. After several deaths and an employee revolt, the company had to call in an independent review. Employees there claim the singularity crushed souls, so now labourers assigned here have none. The station was converted into a prison work site for maximum security penal workers under the supervision of a company administrative team that is mostly rotated out every 6 to 12 months. Order is maintained by a team of android prison guards. Oh my goodness. And then it tells us a little bit about the actual black hole itself. And then NDDs, terror on the edge of space. So the proximity to the singularity's immense electromagnetic fluctuations and insufficient shielding have proven dangerous to the human psyche, triggering an acute psychological effect in mammals known as neurological distortion disorder, or the NDDs for short. The NDDs are also known to occur when someone is exposed to faster than light space travel outside of cryosleep. So there are effects. NDD rolls are made much more frequently. Roll a d6 on the NDD table for each PC to see what impact they suffer. For each roll after the first, a cumulative +1 modifier to the roll. But it does say that there are some anti-NDD drugs available to the players. Let's see. Let's see what affects neurological distortion disorder. So 1 to 5, there's no effect. Then we get paranoia, epilepsy, obfuscation. Oh my goodness. So there are various ones of the obfuscation. Your memory is clouded. You are very confused or even deluded. Roll the d6 on the subtable below. The effects last for 1 turn unless otherwise stated and should be role-played. See, I like that. So these are going to be handed out. They're going to be hidden to the other players, and it's for the player themselves to basically role-play the effects. Oh, let's pick one. Shh, the voices are talking. Voices in your head are making a lot of sense, telling you that you've got things all wrong about the people around you. For the duration of the affliction, you are convinced that your buddy is really your rival, and your rival is actually your buddy. It's all going to get very confusing. And then ultimately, psychosis. You've lost your shit. This is great. Love it. Okay, so we have some details about the asteroid that is heading towards the station, because of course there's got to be some form of impending doom, hasn't there? We need to get everything done and leave, or else we all die. The situation. Well, there's quite a lot of text there, but it gives us... This is what we will read out to the players to basically set the scene for them. And I noticed that there's a certain name in there. That you guys will recognize. So we then get to what the hell is really going on. So this is basically giving you all the information of actually what is happening in this particular story. And of course, it includes the previous 2 cinematic scenarios, so that there is the complete story laid out. So if you haven't played the previous 2, this sort of fills you in on it. Of course, if you have, then it all makes sense and you can see where the story is going and where its conclusion is. We've got a current status, we've got an end goal, we've got some more information. We also have some information about some internal conflicts that are happening on the station. We then get information on our actual ship. And it does say up at the top, a note from Mother, as most of the action takes place on Erebos. There's no detailed maps of the Ketorina. Setorina? I'm going to say it's Setorina. But it gives us all the information that we will need for the ship, because maybe our players may be ingenious and may do something that we've not necessarily planned for. So we do have all the specs there for the ship, and its armament and its upgrades. And oh, too far. There we go. So it tells us then, of course, what what the players need to do to basically progress through the scenario and ultimately win. But there are multiple options in order to achieve this. It depends how they actually want to play their sort of story. Obviously, it says here that, and I like this, in order for the player characters to consider any of these options, they must first discern the goals of the Perfected through dialogue, action, and reaction. So, lots of different ways to succeed. Different equipment that is available to the team from the start. And then a little bit of the opening information as we approach the station. Oh, always going too far. This is interesting, and I like this, that there is the possibility of a player becoming a cat. I thought that this could just be hilarious. And just very, very different. Because I can't say I've ever played a cat before. But, so that would be new. Okay. So we get a little bit of information as we move on regarding our vessel. So it's going to radically change what we're able to do. But of course, it's given us some ideas that will allow the players to get some equipment. And then we go on to, so that's basically the introduction, that's the getting us started. We then have intros on the non-player characters within the game. And we have quite a few of these. Oh, going too far. The cat called Adrian. We have Hobbs and Stikes. So we got quite a few NPCs that we may encounter. Oh, too far. There we go. And then it's starting to give us information on the locations around the space station. And so you can see the size of the Cetorina by comparison to the Erebos plasma trawling station. We get an idea of the various levels. And then pretty much it starts to go through, giving us floor plans, giving us information on each of the decks. So we got the astrometric observatory. Bit of information, bit of a handout. We got operations. Ooh, too far. Health and Wellness Center. Maybe that's where we need to go and get the drugs for the NDDs. Reception and Sciences. Residences and correction modules. I say this is all on a huge handout. The big map that you're able to explore. The main concourse. You see, there's just lots and lots of corridors. I dare say, exclamation tracker would probably be useful. We got the factory complex. Oh. Oh, there you go. I'm liking all the detail on this. Because it's not looking good as we get lower. Then we get the boiler room and engineering control, deck J, right at the bottom of the station. So what we have here is there seems to be a vessel that is now part of the station. Is that... I'm going to say this wrong. You know I'm going to say it wrong. Is that Chariot? 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 Where's my phonetic aid when I need one? Chariot. I'm going with Chariot. It's going to be something different than that. I know it is. Oh. So there you go. So we have... See, I can say Cronus. The USCSS Cronus. So much easier. So we have, obviously, main dock, scientific areas, conference hall. Oh, right, yes. You mean Sharon? Oh, no, it's not Charon. Yeah, or is it? Hello, Chris. Well, just in time. Just in time. You think it's an alt spelling? The C is silent. Yes. So hang on. Is it going to be Herion? Herion? Heron? 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 Let's go with Heron. The Heron. 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 You saying Heron? Heron. Heron. Let's go with that. In Greek mythology, Heron was held to be a superlative centaur amongst his brethren, since he was called the wisest and justest of all the centaurs. That sounds right, and yes. So maybe there's something to be said about the name of this ship. Maybe where it fits on in. Because, yes, if it's called... Well, I'm getting confused because USCSS Cronus, is that the name of the vessel? The Heron. The Heron. Yes, the names are never random. You're quite right. You're quite right. So there's definitely something to be said here, isn't there? We're just going to call it our lifeboat. Cronus is another god. Exactly. Yes. 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 So was Cronus the father of the gods? He was Zeus's dad, wasn't he? Yeah, the Titan. That's it, the Titan that fathered Zeus. Yes, indeed. Okay, so we've gone through all of the sort of floor plans. We would have an understanding of the complete layout of the space station. So then it goes into events. And as we found out on Monday, the game is typically split up into acts, just like a movie would be. So Act 1, there are various things that will occur. And I guess this is where the game mother, it says that they are able to basically use some or all of the events in whatever order seems fit. So of course, as the players are exploring, these are things that you can kind of just drop on in to make things interesting. We then have the Act 2 events. Kronos and Gaia. Yes, that sounds about right to me. So lots of things that can potentially happen in the second act. Oh, too much. And then into the third act. So the impact of NDDs is starting to become overwhelming. So, yes, And of course, as we found out at the beginning, the player's personal agendas change during each act. So things are only going to get worse as you progress through the scenario. And then, of course, we come to the finale. All right. Let's be more positive. The game is funnier and funnier. No, I don't think it is. I think that, as it says, Heart of Darkness is even harsher than the other Alien RPG cinematic scenarios. The PCs aren't expected to survive. See, I like that already. I think we were talking about this on Monday, wasn't we? And I like the idea of it doesn't matter that you die. I like that element. I think it's important how you die, and that is the fun of the game. So I think interesting ways for your death, or things that you're able to do. So we have a bit of an epilogue, we have a sign off, and then we have some info on the proto xenomorphs. Everything we need to know. Oh, too much. So these are the various enemies that we would be facing. It looks like the RPG version of the Nemesis board game, yes. But if you think about it, the Nemesis board game is kind of an Alien board game, isn't it? Alien definitely came first. So there's been so many board games that try to replicate the feeling of the Alien and Aliens movie. I mean, even thinking of Games Workshop's Space Hulk. Yeah, it's essentially the Aliens, the board game, isn't it? Certainly was when I was playing it. Oh, okay, so Nemesis does have the paranoia. Yes, well, I think that's an important part of this game, and I think that's where there's going to be a lot of fun. So, just with you guys in the chat, I mean, how many of you... Because, of course, there's different styles of playing a role-play game, isn't there, in far as the players are concerned. Do some of you play it purely by the numbers, or do you like to do the role-playing? Do you like to become your characters? Give us a bit of a virtual show of hands. How do people play role-play games? What's your preferred style? We have some info on gear and on spaceships. And that pretty much brings us to the end. So Lustor, you play both ways. Roger, you're both. Chris, you're full immersion when you play. Gambadon, you always find it difficult to play in a game where death is the expected outcome. Well, I guess, I don't know, I mean, you know, there's the possibility of you surviving. But yes, I mean, I think, you know, most of us understand how the Alien movie, the Aliens movie, there's typically only a few survivors, isn't there? It's a typical horror setup, you know, final girl, yeah? So the chance of people surviving is relatively slim, but you never know, you could be that person. I'm starting to, yes, I mean, this is, I'm going to actually ask some questions, because I'd be interested to see, I can completely understand the cinematic scenarios, totally on board on that, because I will imagine that these scenarios, even though they are linked as a greater story, you're going to have a different set of characters in each scenario. So you pretty much do the most you possibly can with that character at that time. You're kind of getting to see the story from multiple characters' viewpoints. Not all of them, of course, survive. But it'd be interesting to see what is the context of a true campaign where it's one character going from scenario to scenario. Again, you know, if we relate it to the Alien movies, surely Ripley, you know, she was crazy. She should have just stayed on Earth. What on earth was she doing going to LV-426? You know, the trauma that she had been through, you would never get on a starship ever again, would you? Lorno, you just don't want to die 15 minutes into a 4-hour session. Well, that's where there are multiple characters that potentially you could play. There are the NPC characters, you're able to take over those, so if you did die, but I think that's where, of course, a good game mother is a sort of essential here, because you kind of want to play with your food a little bit, yeah? You do not want to kill people off instantly. You want that tension building. Typically, people, you know, characters don't die in the first act, do they? It's somebody else who dies. It's the red shirts that die in the first act. You want your main heroes to actually progress through a little bit, get invested, allow the terror to envelop them a little bit, and then kill them. Someone needs to die early on. Someone has to stick their head in that egg. Yes. Well, this is it. This is it. But that could be an NPC, can't it? It doesn't have to be one of the players. Or grow a goatee and have a cousin show up. I'm not sure what that reference is. Come on, you're going to have to explain that one to me. Oh, it's an evil twin. Yeah, evil twin's definitely got the goatee. Evil cousin. Well, oh, you see, mirror universe, okay. Well, in fact, next week we will be taking a look at something that is associated to the mirror universe. So if you have been enjoying taking a look at role-playing games, then make sure you do tune in next week. So, do you guys have any questions, or has that given you a reasonable overview? I've tried not to sort of focus in too much, but hopefully it's given you an idea of how a bought cinematic scenario is laid out. ultimately, I think we'll just leave it enough time for everyone to sort of forget. And then next year, as I say, in Season 6, we'll be taking a look at some role-playing games. And maybe this might be one of the scenarios that we will actually get to play. Chris, you enjoyed it? The Aliens franchise is right up there for me, along with Star Wars. Excellent, that's good. No, I enjoy it because I think it's going to offer something different, and I think it's the horror aspect of the theme, isn't it? You know, it may be not quite the game for some, but I like the idea of you know, the potential of me dying before the end of the game. As long as it's in a fun and interesting way, I think I would be happy with it. Lost Door, you've heard about the Expanse RPG. Yeah, that's oh well. There's plenty. So that would be, yes. Look, going out there in the solar system, isn't it? That's a bit of a different game. We actually, if you take a look at the video from Monday, we managed to look at the star chart of the sort of known universe of the Alien game, and there's plenty of space to explore. Occasional one-shot games like Murder Mystery Dinners seem like a good idea. Yes, no, agreed. I think that's where this may fit. Again, there's so many different role-playing games out there, and we will take a look at a few that Free League Publishing do. Yeah, I think this is going to be interesting because, again, Alien, everybody has a good understanding, don't they? That you already know the kind of setting. You're just going to be interested in the story, and you already know that if you're up against an alien, you know, depending if you're armed or not, and even if you are armed, it's not necessarily going to end up well, is it? So, Chris, you're saying this is what I enjoy about the Arkham Horror LCG. Our group often does the little one-shots between the campaigns. Yeah. No, I can definitely see that. So I think that pretty much wraps it up, guys. Because, like I said, I don't want to dwell too much on it, but I think you've hopefully seen enough. Hopefully you're intrigued to explore more. And as I say, we will be taking a closer look, hopefully playing the game next year. All right, so that's what we'll look for. So there we go. That... Oh, wrong screen. That's the one. That was Alien, the role-playing game, Heart of Darkness. Definitely intrigued. Feels like it nails the theme world of the franchise. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you on that one. And yes, Lost Door, I have seen. Yes, will you be backing it? All right, so we will have a show happening on Tuesday next week. And it could be either a game or it could be a roleplay showcase, just like we have done this evening. It really does depend on my co-host. So make sure you are keeping an eye open on the socials to find out what will be happening. But there will definitely be something happening next Tuesday. And possibly something again then on the Thursday. So that is the plan for next week. Thank you so much, everybody in the chat, for your contributions. That does really help. Again, I think you guys obviously understand role-playing games better than I do, so it's great to have your input, to ask questions and to sort of advise a little bit. We will be taking a look at more role-playing games in the future. So I hope to be able to share quite a few with you in due course. Have a wonderful weekend then. I guess do we need to finish off in a similar fashion, don't we? Does somebody want to do the honors? If you remember from Monday night. No, it's the other one. It's the other one. Oh, exclamation destruct. There you go. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. See you next week. It doesn't look like it's why is it not working? Hang on a second. I need to do it manually. Oh. Okay, it's not working. That's how frustrating. Right, now it'll work. Try. The self-destruct's not working. Somebody press the button now. It'll work now.
Danger. The emergency destruct system is now activated. The ship will detonate in T-minus 10 minutes. The option to override automatic detonation expires in T-minus 5 minutes.
Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend and see you next week. Bye for now.